Hi everyone, it's your girl Whitney Luna, and the topic of today is kind of a fun one. I thought I would kind of bring light to my dark channel because I know that I don't want to say all I talk about is healing the shadow and healing the dark side of you. And like everything in this world, it needs a balance. So I thought I'd do something that was a little bit lighter. Sorry if my voice count sounds kind of weird. I'm still battling a head cold, but life goes on and I still need to record videos. So, like I said, the topic of today is life path number 7. I'm a life path number 7. I'm not going to do each number, I'm just going to do what I know. And the thing that I know is how to live as a life path number 7. And I will say that actually, when I was researching this years ago, because I first heard about it like at least 10 years ago, I saw a lot of people were commenting on the Life Path 7, I guess you could say, characteristics page. And a lot of people were saying, oh, I wish I was a 7. It sounds so cool because they're psychic and they have a way of just attracting people to them. It's just like an energy that they have that just naturally attracts people to them. And while that is true, it can be very isolating. It can be very much in your head. Like, we live very much in our head all the time. So I'm just going to do a little video on how to kind of live better, because I'd say when I was younger, I didn't really understand what was going on. I mean, I never really had close friends when I was a child. I did, but for the most part, I was kind of a loner. I mean, I had my one best friend, and then I talked to people at school and I was friendly, but for the most part, I really didn't connect with many people. So I will begin by saying that we are the loners. I mean, we enjoy our alone time, but it's not only that, it's just we need time to recharge. We're very, very sensitive, I find. We're very intuitive, and being around a lot of people is draining to us. And it's nothing against other people. We definitely don't think we're better than anyone. It's just it's a lot being around other people and taking in other energies, and meeting new people. It is very taxing on us. It does require to us a lot of energy. So we're the loners, and we do like our own space. We do like to spend time alone, but for the most part, it's not really. I'm not going to say it's bad that we spend so much time alone, but we really need to be careful that we don't spend all of our time alone and that we shut the world out, because it's really easy for us to fall into depression if we spend too much time alone and we're inside all the time and we're just reading and just doing what we like to do, which a lot of the time we just like to stay in and maybe watch Netflix or read a book on weird stuff that we're into. So yeah, if you're a life path number 7, don't try to stay in too much. Obviously, spend some alone time, because like I said, we do need time to recharge. So make sure you make time for yourself, but try to maybe set up a couple times a month where you can go out and maybe go out for dinner with a few friends, go out and catch a movie with a friend. Just still be sociable. Don't shut the world out because you like your alone time. So that kind of brings me to my next point, which is, if you're friends with the life path number 7, don't be surprised if they kind of go ghost on you. And it's nothing against you. It's just, like I said, we like our alone time. We're not really phone people. I'm definitely more of a texter. I have one or two friends that I can honestly say I text every single day. And it's just because we've established that relationship. I know that they're a good person. I know that I can trust them. And plus, we just kind of vibe really well. I find 7s, we're kind of we're the odd ducks. Like, I'm always called weird, and it used to offend me, but now I'm like, I take it as an honor as long as I'm not boring, because I don't know. I don't want to be normal, but it's not like I step out of my it's not like I'm constantly trying to be different. I'm just myself, and people usually label me as weird, which is fine. But yeah, we're the odd duck, and we don't really connect with many people. So don't be offended if we don't call you every day, or maybe not even text every day, because there's definitely people that I care about that I don't text very often, and it's just, I don't know. It's just not. I'm just not somebody that's also into just like small talk, just like, hey, how are you? What are you doing? Okay, that's nice. Like, it's pointless to me. We're not into small talk. We're not into being fake. We're not into whatever. If we're going to message you, we're going to message you. And that kind of leads me to my next point, is that oftentimes people think that life path number 7s are users, and that is not true at all. like I said, we're very much, we isolate, we like our alone time, we're not into small talk. So I remember I worked with some people and I would often call them because I had to get something from another location. So I'd be like, oh, okay, I see you're at this location today. Can you grab it before you come to my location? Because I knew that they were going to be in my office. And some of them would be like, why do you only call when you need something? Like, we're friends, we work together. And it's not that I had anything against them. And if you're friends with the light path number 7 and you find the same thing where they're like, look, I need you to help me with this or this and this or whatever, it's not that we're using you. It's like I said, we're very, very isolated. We don't really reach out to people. We're not into small talk. We're not into just calling to have a random conversation. We're going to call you when we feel that it's necessary. But it's the same thing the other way. You know, as much as we might look for help from you, we're more than willing to help you. I'd say life path number 7s are real as hell. You know, we're loyal to the end. So if you need help from us, like, we will be there. Trust me. If we like you, like, not that, you know, I'm just going to put that out there. If we like you, we will be there to help you. So that leads me to my next point. We don't really have many friends. Like, the weird thing is that we're very sociable, but we don't really have many friends. And again, it goes back to my last point. We're not about being fake. It's very hard for us to really connect to people because we're the odd duck. We're into weird stuff. And it's really hard for us to connect with people. And there have been times where people were like, oh, she's like, I heard them talk about me. Like, I heard it through someone else. And they're like, oh, they said that they really like you, this and this. And I was like, that's kind of weird because I never really opened up to them. And not that I thought they were fake or anything, but it's just, I'm just more into more depth of, like, just more of a deeper connection, I guess you could say. Yeah, you know, I'll say hi to you, I'll be nice to you if I see you at work or something or on the street, but I wouldn't really consider that a friendship. And we value our friendships, and most of us that do have that 1 or 2 close friends, we've had them for a long time because, like I said, we got to feel you out. It takes us a while to really open up. I mean, my best friend, I'd say my 2 closest friends, I have my one top best friend, she knows who she is, and then I have my other close friend who is definitely very important to me, and they're people that I've known since I was like 16, 17 years old. So, you know, we have a history, we have our crazy stories that I'm not going to mention now, but yeah, we have a history. So if you met a light path 7 and they're kind of distant and they're not really going out of their way to, you know, hang out with you, don't think it's anything against you. It's just, it takes us a while to warm up. I find that some people think that we are stuck up in some ways, which we are honestly not. We're not going to go out of our way to just talk to someone and, you know, say that we have more friends. And you know what I mean? Like, if we link up, we link up, and if we hang out and you're an awesome person, yeah, that's great. But even then, it like I said, it takes a while for us to really warm up. So that brings me to my next point. If you're a light path 7 and it comes to dating, it's the same thing. We're very selective, but we definitely need somebody who grounds us because like I said, we're kind of the weirdos. We're kind of the eccentric ones. So we definitely need someone who grounds us and keeps us grounded in this reality, because kind of going back to the point of that we like to socialize and that it takes a lot of energy for us to socialize. Part of the reason also is because we over analyze everything. We live in our heads a lot. We're very imaginative. We're very creative. But it's kind of a double-edged sword because as much as we live in our heads a lot, we overthink things. Like, we're like, oh, why did that happen? Why did she look at me like that? Why did he look at me like that? Why did he say it like that on the phone? Like, we're very analytical. So we live in our heads a lot. So we definitely need somebody who kind of grounds us in this reality. And when we're overthinking it and maybe worried about something that is kind of ridiculous, your partner can kind of ground you and say, look, you're overthinking it. Kind of, let's be realistic here. So definitely look for someone who grounds you. And yeah, if you're dating someone who's light path number 7, don't be surprised if they kind of have a panic attack or are kind of all over the place sometimes. Yeah, we can be a little bit wild, but it's just because we live in our heads a lot and it's hard to just live everyday life sometimes. I mean, just because life can be intense, life can be chaotic. So we kind of need somebody that kind of says, look, you know what? I'm going to let you freak out for a little bit, but, everything's all good. Everything's okay. Life can be crazy, but everything is going to be okay like it normally is. The other thing I was going to say was that like I said, we're very intuitive. As much as we analyze a lot, we are very intuitive and we pick up on energy very, very well. From a very young age, I was able to tell who I could trust and who I could not trust. And it's not to bash anyone, but it's just, you know what, I could just tell when someone was not really trustworthy. And I remember warning people when I was younger, not that I was going around saying like, oh, don't trust him, don't trust her, but I remember certain situations where someone was like, oh, you should invite them. And I'm like, there's something about them that I just don't trust. And lo and behold, got stabbed in the back, this and this, that and that. And there was multiple situations like that where, yeah, I just knew who not to trust. And part of it was, part of the backstabbing definitely was because I ignored the red flags. But the other thing was just because, I kind of allowed other people's opinions to come in, and lo and behold, I was right. So my intuition has never steered me wrong. So that leads me to my next point is that we are very, no, we receive messages in dreams. So I'd say, really pay attention to your dreams. Not always. Sometimes I'll receive a dream and it'll be really violent and scary, and it'll have nothing to do with what's going on, and it's not what's it called? It's not a premonition. It's just that, it's kind of a replay of maybe what happened the day before, or maybe something that I saw on the news, or just a fear that I might have. So you kind of have to know when it's a warning and when it's just kind of a replay of something from the day before, or just a fear that you have in your head. Because I've definitely had a lot of dreams that warned me about situations. Excuse me. Not that it was anything life threatening, but I did have warnings about, say, somebody that I was seeing at the time. And I found out that they were seeing other people through this dream that I had. And I was able to relay the message to this person and say, I know that you're involved with this person. I know that this is going on. And they were like, how do you know that? And I said, I wasn't gonna say a dream, so I was like, you know what, let's just end this. It's not working out. Let's just end it. So yeah, that was definitely a lot of fun. So the other thing I was gonna say was we're very loyal, especially when it comes to relationships. Like we're not, we may notice beauty in other people, but for the most part, we're not cheaters. And the thing is that we take betrayal very, very harshly. So the last thing we want to do is do it to someone else. And I'm not going to say that just because you're dating a 7 that, you don't have to worry about anything. At the end of the day, this is just something that I've noticed with myself and something that I've noticed with other people that were 7s, but I don't want to say that everyone's like this and that you don't have to worry, because everybody's their own person. Like I said, life is chaotic. I don't want to put a label on everyone, but that's just something that I did notice, is that generally life past 7s are loyal because we don't like to be screwed around. And like I said, friendship for us is very, very important. So if you're in a relationship and it's a stable relationship and it's a loving relationship, we don't want to mess it up. It's important to us. Real friendship, real love is very, very important to us. I think that's all the points I wanted to say. Yeah, pretty much. And I just want to give a last message to my 7s out there that are watching this, is that, try not to be so hard on yourself. I know how hard it is, especially if you're really young and you're still trying to learn who you are and figure out who you are. Because I found even when I was younger and I wasn't so open with people and I was very shy and I liked to keep to myself or my little group that I had, people would always make assumptions about me and would either think that I thought that I was better than them, or they would make like weird lies about me that weren't even true. And to be honest, it didn't really bother me because I didn't really care. I was so stuck in my own world that I was like, whatever. But obviously when I was in my teens, things like that did bother me, but now I'm back to that point where I'm like, people are going to say what they want about you, especially because, like I said, you have the ability to just pull people in because you have an energy like that. And some people see that as something to be jealous of, when really, generally, we don't really try. It's just, it's just a natural thing that we have. So some people might say things about you or make assumptions about you. And I say, you know what? Let them think what they want. What they think is really none of your business. And I mean, there was certain things like I did when I was younger that people would hear about and they'd be like, you're so weird. I don't know why you're into that. Like one of the things I would do was, because I was always really into the occult from a very young age, I saw weird stuff at night. Like I was always afraid when things got dark because I would hear weird stuff at night and I would see weird stuff at night. And I got really involved into the occult at a very, very young age. I'd say about 11, 12, maybe even a little bit younger. I used to get my parents to drop me off at the bookstore so I could just go to the occult section and just read about like alien abductions and ghosts and witchcraft and Wicca and paganism and voodoo and all that stuff. And it was, to be honest, it was a lot of fun just to be in your own world and just be immersed in all these books and all this like strange information that other people weren't really into, but I just was really, really into it. And obviously, when it comes to things like that, people are going to say what they want. I mean, I remember being at the bookstore and this old lady berating me because I was in that section and saying that I was a devil worshiper and that I was like into demons, which I was not into. But it was a little bit much when you're 12 years old and some old lady's like basically shaking her head and saying that you're a devil worshiper. But yeah, that's another story. So, Life Path Sevens, don't isolate yourself, especially if you've been betrayed. Don't shut the world out, because I definitely know what that's like when you've been hurt so bad that you're like, I don't want friends. I don't want this. And you just kind of recluse and kind of turn your home into a cocoon, because our home is very, it's our warm place. It's our sanctuary. So yeah, I definitely know what that's like to want to shut the world out. Don't shut the world out. Love yourself, even if people are making assumptions about you, even if it seems like people just don't like you because they don't fully understand you. You know you're an amazing person. You know you're a beautiful soul. And you know that you have a light to shine in this world. So I'm going to leave you with that. I love you guys so much. Take care.